We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell, and your chairman is Humphrey Lyttleton.
Hello and welcome to what is the 20th series of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. In honour of this occasion, we've specially organised for ourselves a brilliantly entertaining show. And if Tim's still got the tickets, we'll be nipping out to see it as soon as this programme goes. Our teams this week are on my right, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Willie Rushton. And on my left, Barry Cryer and the man whom critics have referred to as Paul Merton. And it gives me enormous pleasure, as it would anyone in my position, to welcome back our lovely scorer, Samantha. Right, teams, I'd like to start with a round called School Reports. Order, please. As you'll be aware, the end-of-term reports that children receive at school often tell us a great deal about what they'll be doing in later life. Gary Lineker's report said simply, quite outstanding, bound to score. Funnily enough, so do Samantha's, but... Teams, I'd like you to suggest for me, please, some school reports for famous or infamous people. Paul, would you start, please?
Magnus Magnusson, he asked too many questions to ever get on in life. Goodbye and thank you for having me. I think this is a wonderful game, can I say, as a total newcomer.
I got one for Ernest Saunders, which is, I was sorry he was too ill to come and see me in my study, but delighted he won the cross-country in the afternoon.
Barry.
He'd forgotten he got Alzheimer's. This is...
Well, that's relaxed the nation.
This is Jeremy Beadle's school report. Jeremy's always up to mischief. How he laughed when he set fire to Mr. Humphrey's wooden leg and burnt him to the ground. He also put a drawing pin on Miss Latimer's chair. He does that to all the staff. Whenever you see Jeremy, you know there's a prick looming.
You see, Magnus Magnusson is chairman of Mastermind. He asked quite a lot of questions, and that was what I was referring to.
Willie.
Lord Chief Justice Lane could try harder.
I got one from Peter Snow from his headmaster. He's the 9-year-old schoolboy. Why does he talk to me as if I'm one? Perhaps he could confine his answers to a simple yes or no rather than a full explanation using the school's computer, the sandpit, and the entire contents of Matron's wardrobe.
OK, we've gone to the next game now. In this one, we have some music. That's what it says here, anyway. This is a round called Singing Sprint. It involves one team singing a song as fast as they can, with the opposing team singing a different song and trying to beat their time. As usual, the BBC hasn't given me a stopwatch, but we'll get the rough idea of who won at the end of it. To make it difficult, teams, I shall be deducting points for insensitivity of rendition. And to make it completely impossible, I shall ask Colin Sell to accompany you on the piano. I'd like you to start now, Barry and Paul, and your song is Unchained Melody. Colin?
Yes, I'm sorry, Hump, I got the wrong music out.
Colin Sell could do better.
Oh, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love, I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Lonely rivers sigh, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. The time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love, I need your love. Godspeed your love to me.
Not much to beat there, Tim and Willie. I'd like you to sing Younger Than Springtime.
Young in the springtime are you, soft on the starlight are you, warm in the winds of you, love gentle lips you, meek and laughter are you, sweet in music are you, angel lover, heaven and earth are you to me, and when dance and joy invade my arms and fill my heart, and how they do. Then young in the springtime am I, gay and laughter am I, angel lover, heaven and earth am I with you.
With you.
A good effort.
Thank you.
Our next round is called Topical Nursery Rhyme. This takes as its subject those delightful little rhymes that we were all taught as children. As educated listeners will know, such rhymes should certainly not be dismissed as mere nonsense, since many of them refer to genuine historical characters and incidents. Humpty Dumpty, interestingly enough, was in fact the unfortunate Sir Humpty Fitzdumpty, a very large Elizabethan egg who fell off a wall. However, for children bereft of such insights, it must be difficult to see the point of them. With this in mind, teams, I'd like you to suggest suitable alterations to well-known nursery rhymes to make them more relevant to life as we know it today. Paul?
Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, the little dog laughed because he was on hallucinogenic drugs. It doesn't rhyme, but it's sort of social comment, isn't it?
Yeah, good. 6 marks for social comment. Right,
Bit
Tim.
more social comment. Georgie, Porgy, Pudding and Pie kissed the girls and made them cry. The next thing he did was have a quick snort, and now he's a judge in the Supreme Court.
Barry?
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. Obviously.
Willie?
Well, Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get a poor dog a bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, so she fitted a mobile phone.
The modern version of that would be Mother Teresa went to the freezer.
Paul?
The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men, but then again, you know how people talk.
Bar Blackrod, have you any wool sack? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. Sack. 1 for the Speaker, she's now a dame, and 1 for Sir Geoffrey Howe, who lives down the lane. The end.
Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse, with rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. The reason I'm going, she's forgotten her clothes.
Simple Simon wore a Walkman going to the fair. Said Simple Simon to the pieman, what?
Sing a song of £483,000.
Okay, well, we better hurry along.
Lady bird, fly away home. Your house is on fire and your children have been put in contact with local social services.
Jack Sprat would eat no fat, his wife would eat no lean, and so between them both, you see, they had very little in common.
You look pregnant, Barry.
Trick of the light.
It'll be, be named after you, Humph.
Have you got another nursery rhyme?
No, I haven't.
Oh, good.
Actually,
Well, we
since
go
you
on to the
asked.
next game, then. This is the round called Tag Wrestling. This is similar to the sport of wrestling in very few ways indeed, but it does conjure up the image of portly men making a tremendous fuss about nothing. So I think we'll keep the title. I shall give each team the last line of a story and then ask one team to start telling a story to fit their punchline. When I make a noise like this, and I have to tell listeners at home that about 4 series ago, the electronic buzzer, which I used to have, ran out of batteries.
This'll
And
be
they
on
gave me
Pick of
this
the
thing
Week,
which
then.
was bequeathed to the BBC by the late Harpo Marx. And it sprung a leak, so it's very difficult to get a noise out of it. But when I make a noise like this... a member of the opposing
His
team will
thumb's
have...
gone.
Now use the hooter, go on.
A member of the opposing team will have to take up the story and make it fit their punchline. And so on until one team finishes or I lose my horn. With Samantha here to keep an eye on it, I can't see it going very far. Paul and Barry, your tagline is, are you ready to take it down?
Yes, yes.
She picked it up, kissed it, and in a puff of yellow smoke, it was miraculously transformed into a handsome David Mellor. Tim and Willie, your tagline is, it fits, exclaimed Imelda Marcos to the wolf, as she wrestled with the enormous waterproof carpet slipper.
Enormous what?
Carpet slipper.
Enormous carpet slipper. Something adjective?
His years have gone.
Enormous carpet slipper, that's it.
Paul and Barry.
Yes, waterproof.
Will you start your story, please?
Waterproof, thank you.
Paul or Barry, who would you like, Hump?
Which you decide amongst yourselves.
Tim.
Barry, you start, please.
There was a young princess, and she thought, I'm tired of the land in which I live. I want to go to foreign, exciting lands. This is fictional, of course. And jumped on a fairy jet with...
To the Philippines. David Mellor, shouted Lady Chatterley. You're fired. Enter left, Imelda Marcos. Who is the wolf, incidentally? Oh, I know, of course, yes, Imelda Marcos. There she is, marching firmly across the Filipino grasslands, when suddenly towards her comes this appalling-looking man, a wolf, quite clear.
And behind the wolf was this frog. And it was a frog with huge bulging eyes, and it gave her a sort of funny look, and she looked at the frog, and the frog looked at her, and together they went to the pictures, and they saw marvellous films over the next weekend, and then they decided to go together steady. See, Magnus Magnusson, he was the host. And then the frog said, you know, I could possibly turn into somebody else.
In fact, I could turn into a wolf, if required. Oh, said Imelda. Oh. She's at the cinema. It is, it's uncanny. As we're having these elections to become princess of my fair land, Mr. Frog Wolf, would you please put these enormous carpet slippers on my ears? Because to be princess of the Philippines, you have these traditional diamond waterproof carpet slippers. Oh, please, huh?
And the frog said, as I've done you the great favour of putting carpet slippers on your ears, you owe me a favour. And he whispered in her ear, and she picked it up and kissed it in a puff of yellow smoke. It was rapidly transformed into a handsome David Mellor.
Runaway victory for Tim and Willie. No, Paul and Barry, sorry.
The hoots are not working, Hump.
In our next round, the teams will take it in turns to be smugglers and customs officers. Team members will try to smuggle illicit items through customs by concealing them in longer words or phrases. The customs officers can challenge at any time if they notice something suspicious. Now, Tim and Willie, you're going to go first, and your objects to smuggle are the names of famous composers.
Oh, Willie, have you got the list of things we packed for our holiday?
Yes.
Oh, good. We're going to the Algarve. I'm looking forward to fill up a glass of Vino Verdi. It's nice to get away from Britain, isn't it, Willie? I've been so busy lately.
I wish you'd do one.
I'm looking forward to some sea, sun and sand, or is it sand, sun and sea? I've got the Andrew Lloyd Webbers. That's okay, officer, isn't it? Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Nearly.
It's there somewhere.
Nearly, I can...
Till if you look for it.
Oh, I thought I was only allowed not to take composers. Anyway, I only appear to have packed one shoe, but I'm sure the others hiding somewhere in my... Willie, who's that? Yeah.
It's a Bart somewhere.
Back to Willie. Willie, who's that over there?
He's a coal porter from Berlin who rogers the low and lesser. Smuggle, Sondheim.
sir.
So now, Tim and Willie, you're going to listen to Barry and Paul give their objects which they're trying to smuggle in. They're going to try and smuggle in famous novelists.
Excuse me, have you read this?
No, I haven't actually. What is it?
Who's it by?
Her Majesty Customs and Excise, I think it says it on. Well, let me see what we've got here. I hope there's nothing amiss. We've got...
Watch out before he
Challenge
burrows
from Willie
Never
Rushton.
shoot.
Is that a command?
He will appear later if he hasn't appeared already, or he certainly should if they've forgotten about him. And Thackeray.
Challenge from Tim.
The Brothers Grimm. That's just what they're looking like.
2 points.
Watch out before he burrows in your case. He might find my naked lunch. It's a sort of pasta snack. And,
I've got this old rose bush I'm just taking through. It's got a bit of a blight on it, but other than that, it's fine.
My wife, Joyce, is with me. She didn't want to come, so I forced her. And,
Challenge from Tim.
Arthur Ransom.
No, I'm overruling that one.
Oh.
what the dickens is this trollop doing in here?
Thackeray!
That's as good a word to end the game on as any I've heard. Right, have you finished? Yes, I have, anyway. OK, teams, we're going to play a game now called Complete Quotes. Very often when people in the public eye are drawn into conversation by the media, they become self-conscious, and quite frequently they completely forget what they're saying in the middle of a sentence. I know the feeling. That's a bit stupid of them, you might say, but you must take my word for it that the life of a celebrity is seldom easy, and the infinite pressures they're under can result in the occasional unforced error. I shall play you each recordings of some of these interrupted sentences, and I'd like you please to finish them off. For you, Willie, now, here's Margaret Thatcher.
I'm very thrilled, too, that Dennis's tremendous work has been recognised. You know, he's done it in his own style, in his own way.
But always in somebody else's bathroom.
Barry, I've got one for you here. Dan Quayle.
Because the question you're asking is what kind of qualifications does Dan Quayle have to be president? What kind of qualifications do I have, and what would I do in this kind of a situation? And what would I do in this situation? I would...
Sorry, what was the question again?
Tim.
Hello.
Here's Andrew Lloyd Webber for you.
I don't think we have, really, you see. I think that Sondheim is, of course, a different animal to me in the sense that he's a...
human being, and I'm a fish.
Paul, we have one of our newer MPs here, Giles Brandreth.
I'm Giles Brandreth, parliamentary candidate for the city of Chester, and sometime holder of the world record for...
7 times winning the annual Gittner sweater competition.
OK, here we'll throw this one to all of you. Anybody who gets an idea can answer it. Paul Daniels.
I think it's very peculiar in this country in that I've had a top-rated television series.
I think that's it, isn't it?
That's it, I think, yes. Willie, here's one for you. Prince Charles.
Really?
Because we always used to get them from South America. Now they're virtually all homebred. I got one
large sack of Bolivian marching powder, but marijuana is coming on delightfully in the greenhouse. Indeed, I talk to it quite frequently. Hello, marijuana. I don't understand what it says back, because it's South American. Latin.
Barry, here's for you. Here's Have you finished, Willie?
No. I'd like to apologise to the pyramids.
Barry, here's Gerald Kaufman.
When I walked through the door, I didn't experience the smell which used to greet me here when I came through the door, and which was the smell of
Jodie Foster. Reference to Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I see, yes.
One of Magnus Magnussen's favourite films.
Said the frog.
Tim, the speaker here is David Icke.
Well, now I'll look back at the highlights of the weekend. And it was a weekend on this occasion dominated by football, cricket, and more than anything...
interplanetary travel. Bless him.
Paul, one more for you. Kenneth Branagh.
To be or not to be. Chelsea 1. Manchester City 0.
Another free-for-all here. Michael Winner.
When I was 5, I rarely gave my first film show, and that was...
Big Ears Wastes Noddy 3.
Okay. Right. Oh, those of you listening at home will probably want to know what the scores are now. We're going on to the next game. When I was idly twiddling my radio knob in search of light entertainment, I occasionally hear that entertaining show with Paul Merton and Nicholas Parsons in it called Just a Minute. Teams, I'd like you to play a round of our very own version of this program entitled Just a Minim. All the minor obstacles of the original game stay the same, but with the addition of the major obstacle of Colin on the piano. So teams, I'd like you to sing a song of my choosing without repetition, deviation, hesitation, or repetition. You may buzz to challenge. Barry, will you start by singing Cheek to Cheek?
Heaven, I'm in paradise, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together dancing cheek to jowl. Nirvana, I'm in Elysium, and the cares that hang around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak when we're out to...
Challenge
oh,
Willie
yes.
Rushton.
The second win, I
Yes,
think we've had.
yeah.
Win.
Yes,
Correct.
I had a win or two.
Repetition of B flat as well.
Am I meant to... Oh, wait a minute. Yes, will you continue the song?
Willie made the...
Willie, you made the original challenge.
Oh, times like this cavorting buttock to bum. Oh, I love to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as leaping about like this with our bits of us stuck together. Oh, I love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much
Challenge.
as this
Challenge.
extreme intimacy.
Challenge there from Paul.
Repetition of love. I love to climb a mountain. I love to climb whatever it was.
Repetition of half as much as
I'd
well.
love to go out fishing.
Half as much as well.
Half as much as well. There's two repetitions, so you carry...
I'd like to challenge for deviation, my team member.
Yes, you
Buttock
can,
to bum.
I'll uphold that as well.
Okay.
So we'll now toss a coin to see who carries on. Paul,
Paul,
you challenge first. Carry on singing.
Dance with me, I want my arm about you. The charm that's sort of...
Challenge from Tim.
Repetition of notes.
They are the only ones I brought with me.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry, I withdraw the challenge.
Challenge withdrawn. Carry on, Paul.
Will carry me through to heaven. I'm in...
Challenge from Willie.
We've had heaven.
But he hasn't sung Heaven
No.
before.
Yes, he
No.
has.
I don't think you sang... Did you sing Heaven before?
No.
He's sung like heaven, but he hasn't
Yeah.
actually sung heaven.
Doesn't matter. It has been sung before.
Ruling on that, Humph, I think.
This could go
Yes.
to the European Court.
Carry on, Paul.
I'm in Eden and my heart beats so that I can hardly sing. And I seem to find the happiness I seek when we're out together, jiving cheek to cheek.
OK, well now our final game is called Celebrity Sponsor. Many theatrical and sporting events these days tend to feature the names of well-known organisations prominently displayed, and often in a manner that can be distracting for an audience. This, I'm pleased to say, hasn't affected every high-budget entertainment. We, for example, are sponsored by Meals on Wheels, but because we keep our sticker out of view, only very observant listeners will notice. Teams, I'd like you to suggest some titles of shows whose sponsors have been a little too overzealous with their advertising, and I'd like you to start, please, Tim.
The Royal Shakespeare Company are doing a new production of 'Tis a Pity She's a Horlicks.
They're also doing Oedipus Durect.
They're doing...
Rather a safe choice, I thought.
They're doing Guinness As You Like It.
This happened years ago, actually. There was a sitcom called The Fosters, if you remember, repeated on Channel 4X.
The musical My Fair Lady Shave.
Another musical, Oklahoma Base.
Or Starlight Express Dairies.
Now, over to Lord's for the Boots home pregnancy test.
7 Brides for 7-Eleven.
Home Start Trek.
Death and the Maiden Form Bra.
No Sex Please with British Home Stores.
5 guys named Murray and Chandon.
The sporting contest, the FA Cup of Soup.
Five Sons and Lovers.
Some mother cares do have them.
The Two Rennies.
Barclay's Home Alone Arranger.
Guys and Dulcis.
Alfa Romeo and Juliet.
Kodak.
Dancing at Lufthansa. Live and Let Dinah Rod.
A Long Day's Journey into Night Nurse.
Carnation Street.
Huckleberry Findus.
Doctor Who and the Dulux.
I hate to interrupt this flow of invention.
There's a girl in My Super Drug.
Whiskers galore. And for dogs, Pal Joey with marrowbone jelly.
Oh, the sponsorship has just been removed for King Ratner's.
OK, teams, well, I'm sorry we've run out of time. That's all for this week. Join us again next week. In the meantime, from all of us, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Tim Brooke-Taylor, Barry Cryer, Paul Merton and Willie Rushton were being given silly things to do by Humphrey Lyttleton, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme was produced by John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell, and your chairman is Humphrey Lyttleton.
Hello and welcome to another edition of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. To celebrate this occasion, I brought along with me an article extolling the virtues of humour. It says, Good quality humour is both delightful and nourishing and can be obtained from most supermarkets for no more than 80 pence for a small pot. I think that must be humus. Anyway, here to contribute, if not humus, then almost certainly some tarama salata. On my left, Barry Cryer and Paul Merton. On my right, Willie Rushton and Tim Brooke-Taylor. And to ensure that they all score today, please give her a warm hand. Samantha. Well, as the short article I've just read out aptly demonstrates, you can never be too sure what you read in the newspapers these days. To this end, teams, I'd like you to start off with a round called Celebrity Misquotes. In it, I'd like you to suggest for me some quotations which well-known people, alive or dead, would never have said. And I'd like you to start, please, Barry.
Alexander Graham Bell. It's engaged.
Willie.
I don't care. Claire Rayner.
I won't be 2 seconds, I'll just put my makeup on. Barbara Cartland.
Julian Clary, my mother-in-law.
Paul Gascoigne, I thought very carefully before I made the tackle, as my prime concern was to win the ball cleanly.
Winston Churchill. Should Herr Hitler ever set foot on the shores of our beloved country, he will not see my baggy striped trousers for dust.
I was so drunk last night I ended up going home with a couple of sailors, Mother Teresa.
I think that one was true, though, wasn't it?
Yes.
Saddam Hussein, I'm as sick as a parrot. The better team won on the day. I'm just sorry I let the lads down.
Oh, no, not another tax bill. The Queen.
For our older listeners, Peter Brough, bottle of beer. Geoffrey Archer, I want to be left alone.
Neil Kinnock, to cut a long story short.
Okay, is that all? Right. Now, we go on to a very entertaining game, which I came across while watching the recent television series That's Show Business with Mike Smith. In it, people sing along to a song they're given, and the song is then faded out, and the object is for them to be in time with the music when it's faded back again. Brilliant. I don't know where they get these ideas from.
Humph.
So it's a good idea.
The producer of that television show's Christian name is Nick.
Ah, that explains it all. To somebody, not to me. Tim, you're going to start this one. I'd like you to join Frank Sinatra singing Downtown.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter out there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown, downtown.
Oh, I missed it by a mile. Paul, it's your...
Frank, no sense of time at all.
Paul, would you please join Bob Dylan singing Subterranean Homesick Blues?
Johnny's in a basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on a pavement thinking about the government. Man in a trench coat, badge out, laid off. Says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off. Look out, kid, it's something you did. God knows when, but you're doing it again. You better duck down the alleyway looking for a new friend. The man in the coonskin cap in paid rent.
Excellent, excellent. Willie, I'd like you to sing Yes, Sir, That's My Baby alongside Eddie Cantor.
He's dead.
Gives you a huge advantage.
At the same time, I'm still working with Barry Cryer, so I suppose... Who's that coming down the street?
Who's that looking so petite?
Who's that coming down to meet me here? Who's that you know who I mean? Sweetest fool you've ever seen. I could tell her miles away from here. Yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, don't mean maybe. Yes, sir, that's my baby now. Yes, ma'am, we've decided. No, ma'am, we won't hide it. Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
you're
ma'am,
invited
you're
now. By the way.
I don't know whether you noticed, but Eddie Cantor came back in.
It's a miracle.
He's
How did you do that?
He was actually singing a completely different song.
Radio, what a...
Barry, now, would you sing Grandad with Clive Dunn?
I've been sitting here all day, thinking, same old dream 10 years away, thinking, now my days are gone, memories linger on, thoughts of when I was a boy. Penny farthings on the street, riding. Motor cars were funny things, frightening. Rolling hoops and spinning tops, penny dreadful lollipops, comic cuts and all. That's what we all think of you. Grandad, you're lovely. That's what we all think of you.
Oh, someone was winning up to that point. Okay, Barry, in snooker, they usually apologise for a fluke. Now then, we're going to play sound charades. In this round, teams will attempt to give their opponents a charade of a book, play, or film, using only the dexterity of their mouths. The opposing team will have to guess what it is. As usual, I'll be awarding points, and points mean prizes. What do points mean? Prizes! Oh, shut up. This week's prize is a lavish. I was still thinking about our audience now. A lavish set of Learn to Speak a Language cassettes with Lloyd Grossman. This set's entitled Learn to Speak English. Now, the first charade, which Barry and Paul will have to guess, will now be displayed on the drive-in size laser scoreboard. And here's the mystery voice for the benefit of listeners at home.
The silence of the lambs. The silence of the lambs.
Tim and Willie, is it a book, a play, or a...
It's a book and a film, and it's 4 words, possibly 5. We're not absolutely certain about that, but we think it's 4.
We're not sure whether it's got a definite article at the beginning or not.
But it doesn't really matter.
Don't look at me.
No.
Here is our mime, our charade.
Starting now.
Now. Shut up.
Is that it? That's it, right. OK, Paul and Barry, start guessing.
It's hard to tell when they've finished.
I'm glad we were told it was a film and a book, otherwise we never would have got it, would we?
Quiet flows
That's
the
quite
dog.
right. It's a film and a book.
Was there a bar in there?
Bar's Rest. Barbara Streisand, is that?
The Sound of Silence. Oh, no, it's not first.
No,
Song.
it's a song.
I think they're teasing us.
Ah.
Get on with it.
Oh, shucks, shall we?
Yeah.
Go on, then.
Sorry, time's up. But tell us anyway.
The Sound of Music. The Silence of the Lambs.
Very good. And now a charade for Tim and Willie to guess. Here it goes on our scoreboard, and here again is the mystery voice for you at home.
The Railway Children. The Railway Children.
Is that a book, a play, or
I think
film?
a book and a film.
book and a film.
Yes, a book and a film.
3 words. Now then, children. Living in this lovely cottage just by the railway line.
Yes. What is it you want to tell us, Mama?
Well, I know the bolt on that gate's broken, and that gate keeps swinging open, children, but I don't want you wandering down by the railway track.
Are you telling us children not to go down to the railway?
Exactly. I am telling you, children, nothing other.
Then as children, we shall say we will not go to the railway.
Good children for not going down to the railway track.
Bah.
Okay.
Sound like the Archers. Containing good advice, I thought, to all those present, quite frankly.
Yes. Death Wish 2. Warm?
3 or 5.
Children and railways, I assume, don't come into this.
The clue's in there somewhere.
It's in there.
It's in there somewhere.
We did say it.
Yeah.
Well, all I heard was them wanting us to say railway children, so...
Obviously close. We must be warm.
The audience helped there.
Very good. Yes, that's what it was. That's only 2 words.
The railway children.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
This is nice. This next round's a firm favourite of Samantha's and of mine too. In it, I shall ask you teams to come up with some limericks. I shall provide the first lines, and I'd like you to continue taking 1 line each. And we're going to start with you, Paul. Your line is, an old Greek called Oedipus Rex
decided that he would change sex.
He was charged 20 drachmas.
For removing his knackers.
Thank God they take travellers' checks.
Okay, Tim, you can have the next one. It starts, by Jove, said the young man from Sparta.
By Jove, said the young man from Sparta, with a mouthful of tarama salata.
I've been charged 20 drachmas.
For a large plate of knackmas.
So much for the Citizens' Charter.
Barry, we're going to go to you now. Your first line is, at a party with Pallas Athene.
At a party with Pallas Athene, I bumped into Federico Fellini.
He showed me his 8.5.
And said, if it don't make you laugh...
Just wait till you see Mussolini.
And finally, one from you, Willie. Your first line is, a remarkable habit of Zeus's...
A remarkable habit of Zeus's was to bathe in tropical juices.
He committed a felony...
with an overripe melon. He...
subjected to disgusting abuses. Well, it's a conclusion.
Okay, now, this next game needs a bit of explanation. And before I do it, I've got something to tell you now. Because if you host a high-profile light entertainment program such as this, it does sometimes mean that people will get you muddled with the hosts of other high-profile light entertainment programs. To illustrate this fact, here's a letter I received the other day. It reads, Dear Mr. Beadle, I do enjoy your excellent TV programs, and I particularly admire the warm-hearted and sensitive way in which you deal with your guests. Your series, You've Been Framed, in which viewers send in videos of their loved ones in humiliating situations, is a real favourite. Kind regards, the Marquis de Sade. Well, something you may not know about You've Been Framed is that the programme has sent many home videos featuring well-known personalities. For obvious reasons, these can't be shown on the television. They can, however, be shown on the radio. So, teams, I'll now play you a selection of these videos, and I would like you to identify them for the benefit of listeners at home. Paul, here's one for you.
Self-explanatory, surely. That's Pavarotti singing in the bath just before it collapses underneath him, I think, isn't it? Falling through 3 floors.
Sounded like Pavarotti having an orgasm.
With an ironmonger.
Well, let's just look at it, then. Good heavens, he was right the second time.
Tim, we've got one for you here.
Well, I assume from the music, it's a christening. And the baby's bitten the priest. It's the christening of Hannibal Lecter. Or it could be the christening of Jeremy Beadle. When that scream was him being dropped on his head, which would explain a lot of things.
Barry, there's one for you now.
Oh, no.
Oh, this was priceless. This was priceless. The Duchess of York was put on the wrong plane as a jape. Stepped onto the steps and realised she was in England.
And the last one for you, Willie.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! Don't cry for me. Midnight, night.
The Phantom of the Opera.
Well, clearly it's the home life of Andrew Lloyd Webber, and believing his own publicity, he sets off at the beginning on a walk across his swimming pool. And halfway across, he loses concentration when he suddenly thinks perhaps 10 million was too much for a cannelloni. And as he drowns, his whole life flashes before him.
I think that was other people's lives flashing before.
It's now time to play the game called Mornington Crescent. Now, to avoid confusion, teams, I shall invoke the Stavoldian principle of the compulsory offline opening. And to help people who are unfamiliar with the rules to follow, we shall return to the basic tenet that blindside play is non-applicable when the preceding move is even.
Is even, you say?
Is even, yes.
Is even, right.
Can you do that with an offline start?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the point.
We wouldn't be doing it if you couldn't do it.
Well, we slipped up before.
Paul, will you start, please?
One false move at this stage of... Balham High Road.
Mornington Crescent.
Oh.
No. I'm sorry. The preceding move wasn't even because there wasn't a preceding move.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry.
How can the first move have a preceding move? Please concentrate.
That was the second move.
Tim, will you carry on,
Yeah, I'm
please?
sorry. So blind side, second move. Greek.
The old fool. It was the second move. First move,
Yeah,
can't
'cause
have the preceding move.
it was-
That's the second move.
Well, we're stuck with Balham High Road at the moment for our sins.
Not for the first time.
Greek. Greek Street.
Cleveland Street.
Bayswater Road.
Attack!
Irving Street.
Said he'd never played before.
That's very clever.
Beginner's luck. But...
Hendon Way.
Oh. Orange Street. Orange Street. What town are you in? Haymarket. Oh, Haymarket. Not a million miles from here. Orange Street.
Where are we?
Alley.
I suppose you can if it's blindside, yeah.
Charing Cross Road.
Great Cumberland Street.
Birdcage Walk.
Victoria Street.
Mornington Crescent.
I've just seen this bit that I read out at the beginning about the Stavolian principle of the compulsory offline opening. Paul, your opening, I'm afraid, wasn't offline, and therefore that game's cancelled out. Our next round is a singing... Our next round is a singing round with all the native charm of the Orient. It's basically a combination of two unique aspects of Japanese culture: singing out of tune in public and ritual suicide. It's called harakirioke. I'm going to ask teams to sing a duet together while accompanied by Colin Sell on the piano. However, while singing this song, they'll be wearing headphones in which music or speech will be played as a distraction. The aim of the game is to stay in tune as much as possible. Continue over. Oh, no, it's not over. Paul and Barry, I'd like you to start by singing What Kind of Fool Am I? And this is what you'll be listening to in your headphones. Okay, now are you ready? Are you going to give them an introduction, Colin? Because you've been sitting there doing nothing all through the program so far.
What kind of fool am I who never fell in love? It seems that I'm the only one that I've been thinking of. What kind of man is this? An empty shell, a lonely cell in which an empty heart must dwell. What kind of lips are these? Lies with every kiss that whispered empty words of love and left me alone like this. Why can't I fall in love like any other man and make me then ask what kind of fool I
That was excellent. Bang in tune all the way through. Colin didn't put you off then. Now, Tim and Willie, I'd like you to sing Titwillow, and this is what you'll be listening to in your headphones.
Governments have three fundamental
I think they call that heavy wood.
Right, Colin?
Sorry? I had my earphones on. Oh.
On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow.
And I said to him, Dicky Bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow?
And as we pursue them,
my
great principle guide,
or a rather tough worm, or a worm inside.
We give opportunity and power to the people. We need a strong and stable economy in which the wealth that is created is owned more widely.
He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough. Oh, singing willow, tit willow, and a cold perspiration respect
for the long-term good of the nation as a whole. I want no complacency. I do want to see more privatisation.
I'll get a job tomorrow! I will!
And the new plans for British Rail and British Coal, there is no reason why they should not be in the private sector, and into it they will go.
What a tip, Willow.
Well, Tim and Willie would have won that one if they hadn't unaccountably fallen asleep. It's almost it for this week, but before we go, I think we'll just find time for a bracing round of Fisherman's Film Club. Teams, I'd like you to suggest some films of suitable viewing for an audience of fishermen. And Barry, you can start.
Piranha de Bergerac.
The Carpetbaggers.
Hook.
The Happiest Days of Your Life.
A License to Brill.
And Cod Created Woman.
Kramer versus Fish Cake. Good movie.
The Clambusters.
The Greatest Skate.
Oh, Kiss Me Skate.
Or Bring Me the Haddock of Alfredo Garcia.
Catch-22.
Last Turbot in Paris.
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Stage Roach.
A Star is Spawn.
Prawn Free.
Henry IV, Parts 1 and Tuna.
Some Pike It Hot.
Dial M for Mermaid.
Steve McQueen in Mullet.
Well, there comes a time when I have to wind things up, so join us again next week when we shall be in Brighton. Until then, from all of us, goodbye.
Tim Brooke-Taylor, Barry Cryer, Paul Merton and Willie Rushton were being given silly things to do by Humphrey Lyttleton, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme was produced by John Naismith.
And would you finally welcome, with a face to launch 1,000 rockets, our scorer, Samantha. Our first round is entitled Wuthering Hillocks. It takes as its premise the poverty of the entertainment industry in this country. Teams, I'd like you to please come up with some suggestions for cost-cutting versions of well-known films, plays, musicals, programs, or books. Barry, I'd like you to go first, please.
Mr. Brooke-Taylor's come out with a rather modest little volume, A Brief History of Tim.
Willie.
The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse is to be renamed the Captain Mark Phillips story.
Graeme.
Watch Out, Beadles at Home.
Sex, Lies and Pop-Up Books.
Clint Eastwood cutting back. He's made a new film called The Outlaw Josie Clandidno. Instead of Wales.
Set in Oxford, Inspector Left.
The chamomile tea bag. The weekend porridge called oats. That's a cereal, actually. This week in Parliament will be an evening with Giles Brandreth. My left 6 inches. With Daniel Half an Hour Lewis.
And you get your stick.
And Bob's Full House becomes Bob's Got Vacancies.
Charlie and the Chocolate Biscuit.
I'm going to have to stem this flow of invention now. We're going to go on now to a next round, which is entitled Antithetical Duets, which involves 2 groups of 2 people, with each group singing a different song. It's not to be confused with antitheistical duets, which involves 1 group of 2 people, in which both people sing songs that dispute the existence of a god. Here are the rules as I understand them. Each team has a song. Team A starts singing their song until I do this. And I did that with a buzzer, at which point Team B did it with a horn. Don't be pedantic.
Oh, right.
At which point Team B should start singing their song. When I do this again, and that was a horn that time.
You don't know the difference between a horn and a buzzer, you're in big trouble.
Team A must take up their song again from the precise point at which they left off, and so on. Gosh, what fun. Team C will provide the musical accompaniment. Go on, Colin.
We've been given...
Listen, you're supposed to be the musical...
We've been given words that says the sun has got his hat on. Is that relevant?
Yes, but you're not going to start.
Oh, okay.
Barry and Graeme are going to start, and your song is Bye Bye Blackbird.
Thank you, Hump.
And Tim and Willie, your song is The Sun Has Got His Hat On.
Oh, there's a coincidence.
Yeah, that's me, yeah.
Okay, introduction, please.
Waiting for the buzzer, Humphrey.
If Colin Sell hadn't barged in about 10 minutes ago, none of this could have happened. We could have got on with the game.
That's a buzzer. That's a very thick horn, that.
Okay. Colin, the introduction, please, to Barry and Graeme's song, which is Bye Bye Blackbird.
Pack up all my care and woe, here I go, singing low. The sun has got his hat on, sing hip 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 hooray. The sun has got his hat on and he's coming out today. Now we'll all be happy. Bye, bye, blackbird. Somebody wait for me, sugar sweet. Hip 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 hooray. The sun has got his hat on and he's coming out today. He's been planning, so is she. Bye. Chorus, I've been Timbuktu, and now he's coming back to do the same to Lambert. No one here can love. Jump into your clubhouse, hip 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 hooray. The sun has got his hat on and me. Oh, what a story they all have. He's coming out today.
I've enjoyed myself for the first time in 20 years. Let's do it again.
And God does exist.
Teams, I'm going to introduce a round now called commentaries. In it I shall ask each team member to provide a commentary on a particular historical event, but in the style of my choosing. Tim, you're going to start this one. World War II in the style of a parish magazine.
Last Saturday, Mr. Chamberlain, reading from a piece of paper, introduced Mr. Hitler, who kindly opened the proceedings with an amusing speech or two and an impromptu invasion of Poland. Later, Mr. Churchill, standing in for Mr. Chamberlain, organised some games on the beaches and was particularly fulsome in his praise of the few who took part in the aerial display. The WI, as usual, did a splendid job feeding 50 million, and their spam store was a great success. Winners included Dame Mara Hess, dried egg and spoon race, Charles de Gaulle, potato most like its owner, and Mussolini's silliest walk. And, as usual, everyone sat on the greasy poles. Mention should be made of some Americans who appeared rather late in the afternoon to help clear up. The vicar finally thanked everyone for taking part and fervently hoped this event would not take place ever again.
Barry.
What?
I want you to do the Charge of the Light Brigade in the style of Murray Walker.
And here in the valley of death, there's 600 are lined up waiting for the flag. Lord Raglan in pole position, Lord Cardigan in the McLaren, and Nigel Mansell nowhere near born yet. The Cannon Williams volley and thunder, louder and louder, which reminds me, have you seen Nicky lately, James?
No, Murray.
Thank you, James, and they're off. I can see Raglan signalling to Cardigan, pull over. What a sensational start. Meow, meow, meow. That's me making those noises. What's that? No, cars here. I'd like a...
Two voices, not a penny extra. I'd like a pea, please, Bob.
Thank you, James. And they are dead, hundreds of them, but there's no way Cardigan will fall off his horse. Oh, he's fallen off his horse. And we're back to Rory Bremner, who does this much better than I do.
Willie Rushton, the auction of the BBC in the style of Richard Dimbleby, please.
Well, here we are in the great room of the Old Trafford Hotel, Brighton, to witness the auction of those few parts of the BBC still remaining after the cutbacks. So far, this morning, Her Majesty the Queen has bought Radio 1 as something for Prince Edward to play with. Radio 2 has gone to a knacker's yard in Gosport, where the new owners say it will be shot. Radio 3 was picked up for a song by an old folks' home in Eastbourne, and Radio 4 is now about to be auctioned. What price Radio 4? Well, there's not much activity. It's possibly the finest radio channel in the world, but a man has just removed my glass of water, my jug, my ashtray, and now he's taken my microphone.
And finally, Graeme Garden, the Fire of London in the style of a Radio 4 continuity announcer.
Well, now, before the next programme, here is a road traffic report. The fire, which started late last night in Pudding Lane, is still out of control and now covers most of the city of London. And speaking of the city, you can hear an extended version of Moneybox with Louise Botting and Vincent Duggleby at 11:30 on Monday morning. With thousands of Londoners fleeing from the blaze, the roads leading out of the city are at a standstill, with tailbacks stretching right out to the Hanger Lane gyratory system. Well, St. Paul's Cathedral may have gone up in smoke, but there are some glum faces at Brookfield Farm.
Jolly good. We're going on now to the round which is called Straight Face. The object of this round is for the team members not to get laughs. Teams, I shall ask you in turn to suggest a series of unfunny words that are in some way associated with the seaside town of Brighton. Anyone caught arousing mirth will be instantly disqualified. One who's left at the end will be the winner. Willie, you're going to start this one, please.
Pebbles.
Pier.
You lay them, we'll crack them.
I didn't hear anything. Tim.
Bell. Littoral. Sorry, didn't hear that. Littoral. As in shore.
Sure.
Shore. Rock.
Pavilion.
Weekend.
Loosh.
Now, wait a minute. I heard a titter. Did you titter, sir? He nods. Barry, you're out.
Oh.
Willie, go on.
Stain.
Sorry about that.
People taking it very seriously indeed.
That leaves just Graeme and Tim. A ding-dong battle, if ever I saw one. Go on, Graeme.
Hove.
Tim, you're the winner.
Oh, really?
All right, then. It's time for a round of limericks. I shall furnish you each with a potent first line, which I'd like you to complete in limerick form, taking one line each. So, Tim, you're going to start this one. The art of the old Highland reel
Is to spin round upon your left heel.
Then you waggle your duck.
With a bit of a smuck.
At least those are my grounds for appeal.
Graeme, here's your first line. At the party when doing the rumba,
Down my trousers I thrust a cucumber.
My God, what is that?
Cried a girl in a hat.
So I gave her my telephone number.
Willie, here's one for you. When invited to a Morris dance,
When invited to a Morris dance, I strap on my bells in advance. Sound advice.
My God, what is that? Cried a girl in a hat. Another cucumber, perchance?
and finally, with the scores level pegging, it's for you, Barry, to start this next one. For those who enjoy a gavotte.
I do. I admit it, a lot.
I've spent hundreds of nights
leaping round in my kite.
And it does keep the vegetables hot.
Okay, now this is my favourite game now. This is called Smugglers. In this round, the teams will take it in turns to be smugglers and customs officers. The smugglers should attempt to conceal certain items in longer words or phrases in an attempt to dodge the sophisticated X-ray buzzer system of the customs officers. Tim and Willie, I'd like you to go first. And your items to smuggle are the names of famous philosophers.
Well, bless me, Jack. The Reader's Digest. Who packed this? I'm hungry, Willie. What couldn't I do with a Plato Pythagoras and
A breath of fresh AJ air.
Yes, Graeme. You spotted one. Plato, I think, was in there.
Oh, it's a fair cop.
Carry on.
I can never find a trolley. Are there any day cops? The stock rates are very high, but I can't haggle. That I shall write a letter to whom it may concern.
That's enough thought for today.
Our listeners at home spotted 27. Barry and Graeme spotted 1. And we go over to you to start smuggling now, please.
Well, smuggling.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, wait a minute. I've left out an important detail. You're going to smuggle the names of well-known characters from the Bible.
Oh, that helps us, you see, Humphrey.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was looking for Chelsea footballers.
Off you go, Barry.
We're going to the Philippines, and I'm wearing a big hat to keep the sun off. Everybody wears a big hat out there. Adam, big hat. Seth, big hat. Enoch, big hat. Canaan, big hat.
Didn't spot any there, Willie, did you?
I've never heard of anybody called Big Hat.
No. No, you
There's
just
a Chelsea footballer of that name. Now he's only 47. A very perky little right half.
I'm going to take...
Arnie Big Hat, I think his name was.
A money box. A cane chair. Oh, I'm not able to lift it. Would you Adam and Eve it? What?
Tim spotted one.
Yes. Like that. Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve. I got 4 there.
Yes, and chair. Their little known son.
I'll give you 2.
I've got an inflatable Esther Ranson. You may notice one eye higher than the other. What?
You play?
Sorry. Complete with a repair kit for it, for the punctures, pilot light for the oven.
I want to see you blow it up.
James Bond video, Nebuchadnezzar again.
Which game are we in? Just remind me. Have you finished?
Professionally, you mean?
I think.
Yeah. Right, we're going to go on to the next game.
Good game, that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
They should have won the cup that year.
I tell you what, let's have a quick game of hide and seek. Colin Sell, I'd like you to please provide some suitable music for the teams to hide to. Right, teams, you have 10 seconds from now to find a suitable hiding place that will ensure that you're unlikely to be found for a very long time. Right, that seems to be 10 seconds. Good. Now, Colin, I'd like you to go and look for them, please. Okay, teams, you can come out from under your tables. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have time to wait for Colin, so it looks as though we better go on to the next round without him. Luckily, it's a musical round. This one's a great favourite of Samantha's and mine, too. I've selected some of my favourite easy listening discs, which I shall play in on my gramophone for team members to sing along to. At a completely random point, Samantha will turn down my volume knob. When the knob is turned up again, if you're within a couple of semi-quavers of the original, I shall be awarding points. And points mean prizes. What do points mean? Nuremberg fodder. This week's prize is a new book by J.R. Hartley entitled Sex, Drugs, and Freshwater Groundbait. Willie, now, we are going to start, Willie. Will you accompany Frank Sinatra singing Strangers in the Night?
Haven't you started yet? He's very old, you don't know anymore. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. You wonder what voice to put on when you're singing with Sinatra. In love before breakfast. Well, that's all. Before the night was through. Something in your eyes was so inviting. Something in your smile, Scooby-Doo, was so exciting. Something in my heart, this is dirty, told me I must have you. Strangers in the night, two lonely people. Oh, fool. Okay, slower and slower as the years go by. Miles behind.
What are you doing all that time?
I wrote a book while you did.
I don't know why that got any applause, but still. Graeme, you're going to join Charles Penrose now singing The Laughing Policeman.
Prefer the Sinatra version. I know a fat old policeman, he's always on our street. A fat and jolly red-faced man, he really is a treat. He's too kind for a policeman, he's never known to frown. And everybody says he is the happiest man in town. Ha 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 ha. Whoa ho 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 ha 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 ha. Whoa ho 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 ha 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 ha. Whoa ho 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 ha ha ho 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 ha ha ha.
That was nearer, but there's still room for improvement. Barry, see what you can do. Join Tom Jones now singing a song called Kiss.
You don't have to be beautiful to turn me on. I just need your body, baby, from dusk till dawn. You don't need experience just a short to turn me out.
Got a cucumber, right?
You just leave it all up to me. I'll show you what it's all about. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm more compatible with. I just want your
shoot him now,
time and
Put him
your
out of his misery.
kiss.
Lady in the front row has just thrown something onto the stage.
It's awful, I think.
Right, Tim.
A white stick. Sorry.
Tim, with all to play for now, will you accompany Rolf Harris singing Sunrise? And feel free the rest of you to provide
Sunrise, she bring in the morning. Sunrise, bring in the morning. Flutter in the skirts all around. Sunrise, she come in the dawning. Sunrise, come with the dawning, spreading all the light all around. Sunrise on the kangaroo pole, sunrise on the kangaroo pole, glistening with you all around. Sunrise filling all the whole
You like the picture?
We're almost out of time, so we've got to hurry on now to a swift round of Vegetable Film Club. Teams, I'd like you to suggest some titles of films of suitable viewing for an audience of vegetarians. Okay, Tim, off you go.
Bean series of films. Dirty Harry Cobean. Billy the Kidney Bean. Stop or My Mum Will Bean Shoot.
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
The African Quorn.
When Harry Coe Met Celery.
War and Peas. L. Swede.
Speaking of epics, there's Kirk Douglas as leader of the Gladioli in Asparagus. Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine in The Allotment. The Night My Cucumber Came Up.
What is that? Said a girl in a hat.
Kale House Rock with Elvis Parsley.
A quiche before dying.
Texas Coleslaw Massacre.
Mushroom with a View.
Rice Puddin', The Mad Monk.
Ill Meat by Marmite.
Radish of the Lost Ark. The Silence of the Yams.
Of Human Roughage.
The Endive.
That really is all there is time for this week. So join us again when we'll be back here in Brighton next week. In the meantime, from all of us, goodbye.
Tim Brooke-Taylor, Barry Cryer, Graeme and Willie Rushton have been given silly things to do by Humphrey.
We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell, and your chairman is Humphrey Lyttleton.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. Once again, we're in Brighton, an ancient seaside resort at one time alleged to hold magical powers for rejuvenating the elderly. And here to test this rumour further than really seems fair under the circumstances. Will you please welcome on my right Willie Rushton and Tim Brooke-Taylor. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graeme Garden. And finally, please be warm and spontaneous for our lady who scores, the very lovely Samantha. We're going to start off with a round called Translations. From the very first moment over 1,500 years ago when an invading Anglo turned to an invading Saxon and said, hello, terrible weather for the time of year, isn't it? Our English language has maintained a strict open-door policy to all manner of foreign words, particularly French ones. Teams, I shall put to each of you some obscure foreign words or phrases, and I'd like you to provide a translation. Graeme, you're going to go first. Après-ski.
Plaster of Paris. Or I've finished the yoghurt.
Tim, yours is Bureau de Change.
Superman's telephone box. Thank you, Mother.
Barry, how about this one for you? Carpe diem.
Fish of the day.
Willie, one right up your street now. B-Day.
2 days before D-Day. Hence the old song. Ah, B-Days are here again.
Any more suggestions?
Avant-garde. Next to last coach on the train. Hors d'oeuvre. Ladies who hang around diesel pumps.
Non-compos mentis. I don't think that's meant to be fertilizer. Eureka. B.O.
Sub Judice, the Israeli underground system.
Okay, ready to go on?
A la carte, rhyming slang.
I've got to interrupt proceedings now to let everyone know that we shall this week be playing the well-known round in which I ask panellists to supply the names of the late arrivals to a random exclusive ball in the social calendar. And the ball I'd like your suggestions for, teams, the end of the programme, is the hairdresser's ball. So get ready to announce the late arrivals at the hairdresser's ball at the end of the programme. Meanwhile, we're going on to the next round, which is called One Old Song to the Tune of Another. This should not be confused with the latest Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. Which is, of course, two old songs to the tune... to the tune of 3 million. In this round, teams, I'd like you to please take the words of one well-known song and attempt to fit them to the tune of another. It's a musical round, so we've got very little choice but to involve the Colin Sunshine Band. Barry, I want you to sing I'm Henry VIII I Am to the tune of Tchaikovsky's First Piano Concerto.
But of course.
Henry the Eighth I am, Henry the Eighth I am. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. Everyone was an Henry. She wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. I'm her 8th old man named Henry. I'm Henry the 8th. I am.
Over to you now, Willie, with the words of Maisie Dotes and Dozy Dotes to the tune of There'll Be Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover.
Maisie Dotes and Dozy Dotes and little lambsy, divey a kiddly, divey too, wouldn't you? Yes, Maisie Dotes and Dozy Dotes and little lambs. So queer and funny to your ear, a little bit jumbled, jiving, sing, lazy oats and daisies, oats and little lambs with ivy, old
Brings it all back, doesn't it? Graeme, now, will you sing the words of I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts to the tune of the theme from Swan Lake?
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, standing in a row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Give 'em a twist, a flick of the wrist, that's what the showman said. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Every ball you throw will make me rich. There stands me wife, the idol of me life, singing roll a ball, a penny a peach. That's enough of that.
Tim.
Oh, hello.
You're going to sing the words of She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain to the tune of Dance of the Hours.
Less.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Singing aye, yippee, yippee. I singing aye. Yippee, yippee, I singing, aye, yippee, aye, Yippee, aye, singing yippee. Oh, sorry.
That was so good. I'm going to give you 10 points. Samantha's asleep, so she's not going to give you anything.
Bless her.
Serious now, there'll be few people that haven't delighted in that rich vein of poetry, that golden seam of emotion recollected in tranquility, to borrow a phrase of Wordsworth's, that can be yours to give for no more than a few pence when you purchase a greetings card from Athena Limited. Which brings me to our next round, which is entitled Special Occasion Cards. Teams, I'd like you to suggest some personalised verses to go inside greetings card for sending to famous people on special occasions. Willie, you start, please.
Oh, Betty Boothroyd, now your speaker. No more talk of the weaker sex. And if they ignore your order, simply break the bastard's necks.
Graeme.
To Julius Caesar on the Ides of March. May we remind you, we're all behind you.
I've got a slightly out-of-date card here. It's to Mark Thatcher taking his driving test. It just says, get lost. Jeremy Beadle's first night of a new series of Beatles about, and that says, get lost. And Hannibal Lecter, dear Hannibal, the name's Jeremy Beadle, bon appetit.
Archduke Ferdinand, welcome to Sarajevo. Have a nice day.
Ted, for years you were persona non grata. You were viewed as a rotten egg. But now, Mr. Heath, you've a garter to snap around your podgy leg.
One for Gerald Kaufman. You really are a shooting star. Come out wherever you are.
Mark Thatcher, you're a baron. Wish your mother had been.
Okay, well, we're going on now to a delightful round called Sound Charades. If you've ever watched the TV programme Give Us a Clue, in which a selection of celebrities and Lionel Blair take it in turn to provide a mime for the title of a well-known book, film, play or television programme, then please try and put it to the very back of your mind. The game we'll now play shares most of the details of standard charades, with the exception that in our version, panellists are permitted the use of their mouths. The first title, which Tim and Willie will have to guess, will now be displayed on the awesome satellite-linked mountain-cum-laser scoreboard that our organisers here in Brighton have so generously provided. Listeners without the advantage of this triumph of state-of-the-art technology will have to make do with the mystery voice, which is coming up now.
Die Hard. Die Hard.
Now then, is it a book or a film or what?
A film.
A film.
Is that all?
Yes.
How many words?
Two.
Right, get on with it.
What are they? Oh, right. What's that?
Oh, that Jenkins. Jenkins. Gone but not forgotten. Oh.
He was a hard man.
Hard man,
Hardest
Jenkins.
man in the valley was Jenkins.
Oh. Barbed wire wife fronts, I tell you.
No, thanks. I've just put one out.
He could open a bottle with a wink.
With a what?
A wink.
Oh, a hard man he was.
Hard hard man he was.
Hardest man down the pit.
Hardest man down the pit.
He was hard, was
He
Jenkins.
was.
Right,
So it goes on like that.
Okay, off you go, Tim and
Sorry,
Willie.
how many words was it? I forgot.
Two. In all the Jenkins references, it was one boy.
No.
We misled into Wales. Was that relevant? No.
No, Wales is helpful.
Perfectly helpful and valid.
Pip the Younger. No, that's Cole Porter.
Die.
Die Hard. It's your turn to guess now, Barry and Graeme. And here's the scoreboard coming to show our audience here, and the mystery voice to tell you at home.
The Beggar's Opera. The Beggar's Opera.
Theatrical venture.
Does that mean play?
Filmed.
How many words?
3.
Okay, off you go.
Starting now.
Have you got the price of the cup of tea then, Gov?
Lady and the Tramp.
Too many words, unfortunately.
Carmen.
To the Garden Maud.
Carmen. Holy Rollers. No, that sounds
3
too
words,
much.
isn't it? Carmen.
It was all in one, really. What happened is more to the...
Something operatic.
Così fan tutti. No.
Keep your private life to yourself.
Listen, Colin's trying to help. He's playing Over the Hills and Far Away, but I can still hear him. Thanks, Colin. That's the Beggars. Isn't it? The Beggars.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. It's the recruiting sergeant. Beggars Opera.
Yeah, correct.
Now for a round which welcomes those short advertisements you see for forthcoming films. It's called Hello Trailer. Teams, I shall play in the soundtrack to a well-known motion picture, and I'd like you to provide the voiceover. Feel free to make any alterations to the title, cast, or anything else you consider necessary. Tim, yours is the theme to Star Wars.
Coming soon at a theatre near you, UPI presents Friday Night Shopping at Sainsbury's, featuring John Major as a whole new can of beans. This is the story of one man's journey to hell and back to the short stay car park. See Chuck Major journey through the fast lanes of fruit and veg. See him wrestle with the fiery temptresses of fancy cakes. Groan with disappointments as Sainsbury's are clean out of soda bread. Cheer as John, for once in his life, chooses the fast checkout queue. Hell on Earth is Friday Night Shopping at Sainsbury's. This is a Tesco production.
Okay, Barry, your theme is the theme to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
The sound of Roger Whittaker heralds the good, the bad, and the ugly. Cliff Richard, Robert Maxwell, and Andrew Lloyd Webber. Together again for the first time. Maxwell, the man with no claim. Cliff Richard, the man with no dame. Andrew Lloyd Webber, the man with no shame. Who were these 3 strangers who rode into a township and had a car boot sale? The good, the bad, and the ugly. In Noel's house party this week.
Okay, Willie, are you ready now for the theme to Psycho?
Once in a lifetime, a bathroom explodes into greatness. That chilling sound is the siren of the 24-hour emergency plumber. As he heads for the motel run by Norman Lamont, as in his eccentric mother, Dorothy Lamont. played by Dorothy Perkins. Once again, all is not well in the shower. This film, a shattering indictment of the appalling standard of shower attachments in America, will not fail to make you reach for the ashtray for unnatural purposes. Just as you thought it was safe to crouch over the wash basin again. Psycho.
Right, finally, Graeme, yours is the theme to 633 Squadron.
The fourth and final part of the Omen trilogy, 666 Squadron, starring Philip Schofield as Damien, spawn of the devil. Hello. Gregory Peck as Clara the chicken. Thrill to Virginia Bottomley as Damien's mother, the interior decorator.
And here we'll have a lovely bowl of potpourri.
Shudder at Ian Paisley as the exorcist. No potpourri! Gasp at the sight of John Prescott MP as the wise old professor. You can call me an old professor, wise old, but what people, professor, wise old professor, but what people, socialism is what people want is socialism, but so the 666 Squadron and at you near a cinema now.
Okay, well, now we're going to play a game that we quite often play. It's called Mornington Crescent. And this time, teams, as you'd expect, we'll be playing by the Brighton rules.
That's Lord Brighton's rules, is it?
Mr. Brighton's rules.
Oh, you need Brighton. Well-known Chinese authoress.
Hove into sight.
Are you going to pretend you don't know the Brighton rules? We've been through this over and over and over again.
If you could
anyway, we'll leave you to the end so you get a chance to get your bearings. Start with you, Barry.
Queensgate.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else doesn't know him.
Yeah.
I think I know what he's doing, but it strikes me as very deeply wrong, quite frankly.
So what's new?
The Angel Islington.
Canary Wharf.
Yeah. Parliament Hill.
Watling Street.
Church Lane.
Fairlop.
See, yeah. Well, that's actually quite... Haverstock Hill.
Yeah, be careful now.
There's a man over there thinks you're mad.
Bow Street.
What does he know?
Bow Street.
Chiswick High Road. Always a useful stopgap measure.
Chiswick High Road?
Yes!
Googe Street, yes.
Denmark Street.
Mornington Crescent.
Yeah. Didn't see it at first. Could you just tell me what this is?
The lady in the front row knows the Brighton rules better than you do. It's time for another musical round now, and they use the term misadvisedly. Teams, I'd like you to sing a song of my choosing, paying heed to censor, by means of a buzzer, any words liable to offend the milky pink ears of Samantha.
That was ears, wasn't it?
Don't look all that milky pink from where I'm sitting myself. Barry and Graeme, will you sing and censor as time goes by?
You must remember this, is still is just the fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers, they still say I, you, on that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of and woman needs, and man must have his, that no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and a case of do or. The world will always welcome as time goes by.
Fine. Tim and Willie, yours is Surrey with the fringe on top.
Don't know, nothing to do with that.
When I take you out tonight with me, honey, here's the way it's gonna be. You will behind a team of snow white horses in the slickest you ever see. When did we start? Never know when to start. He does it.
Chicks and ducks and geese better when you out in the Surrey, when you out in the Surrey with the fringe on top. Watch that and see how it flutters when them high-stepping strutters, nosy pokes all through the shutters and will hop. I yellow the brown, genuine leather wig. You can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather. Too bright side, winking and blinking, ain't no finger. I'm a-thinking you can keep your, if you're thinking that I'm here to swap, we're that shiny little Surrey with the all the top.
We have a score. Barry and Graeme 52, Tim and Willie 51. Or vice versa. Well, it's almost time now for Samantha and myself to nip off for another quick blow on the seafront. Let's hope it'll be
This is a trumpet expression, is it?
Before we go, however, I'll just ask the teams to announce the late arrivals at the hairdresser's ball. Graeme, start them off, please.
There's Mr. and Mrs. Little off the top, and their son Chester Little off the top.
From Germany, inevitably, a group of bald-headed men, the hair lacquers.
Two girls in the corner. I didn't know you had dandruff. No, but I have had head end shoulders.
And alopecia.
Alopecia, 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 alopecia.
There's Mr. and Mrs. Shop Quartet and their daughter Barbara Shop Quartet.
The caterers have produced some unusual food, rabbit burger or hair in a bun.
Oh, there's Trim Brooke-Taylor. Who's going to singe something simple.
Mr. and Mrs. Sides and their small son, Short Buchan.
Mr. and Mrs. Wright for the weekend, sir, and their son, Owl Wright for the weekend.
Oh, there's
dear.
Sorry.
Oh, dear, he's broken wind. No, that's a false alarm. A shampoo.
The late Maria Curlers.
And Carmen Rollers.
Oh, indeed, what a cabaret. We've never mentioned yet.
Cider Burns.
Cider?
Cider Burns. It's not a usual name. I mean, it's not a popular name. You don't meet many.
It won't catch on.
All right, then Tony Curtis.
Marcel Wave.
Quith Rhys-Jones. Oh, no, there's a streaker. In the snood.
Oh, I see, yes. I think I'll probably understand it on the repeat.
Linguist from Liverpool, he speaks Urdu. Hergé's Adventures of Tinting. That's an arrival.
Well, I hate to interrupt this flow of inspired invention. But, it's very nearly all for this week, I'm afraid. Join us again next week when we'll be in Oxford. In the meantime, from all of us, goodbye.
Brooke-Taylor, Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden and Willie Rushton have been given Silly Things to Do by Humphrey Lyttleton, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme was produced by John Naismith. Presents I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Humphrey Lyttleton.
Hello and welcome to another edition of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. Today we're coming to you from historic Oxford, whose interesting name apparently came about when an observant local noticed an ox in a ford and thought it would make a nice name for a university city. Interestingly enough, things noticed in stretches of water have for a long time provided the inspiration for the names of towns. There's Catford, Bedford, the Irish town of Waterford. And, of course, broken pram, a couple of old boots and a bicycle ford. Anyway, we're the guests of the Playhouse Theatre here in Oxford, and when I say we, I'm referring to, on my left, Graeme Garden and Barry Cryer. On my right, Willie Rushton and Tim Brooke-Taylor. One or two listeners to recent programmes have written to say that they've never actually heard Samantha doing any scoring. Here's a tip. Put an ordinary glass tumbler up against the speaker and put your ear to it and you'll hear everything you want to hear and more besides. Anyway, will you welcome Samantha? Okay, we'll start with a round called Famous First Words. In this round, teams, I'd like you to suggest, please, the first words that well-known people, alive or dead, are likely to have said. And I'd like you to start, please, Graeme.
Right, Little Richard. Goo goo gaga goo bopaluma.
Tim.
This is Elton John's first words. Give me a hat! Give me a hat! Don't look at my head! Don't look at my head!
Barry.
Robert Maxwell. Trust me.
And Willie.
John Major. This is a very exciting way to be born, Mother, but they've taken away the safety net.
It's Oliver Reed. Is that surgical spirit nurse?
Tom Jones. No, nurse, that's not the umbilical cord.
Famous film director Michael Winner. Cut. I'd like to go again, love. Lots more screaming this time.
Gerald Kaufman. I must call home.
No coward. A womb with a view.
Frank Sinatra. This is positively my last appearance.
Well, this is the point where I give the teams advance warning of the late arrivals they'll be announcing later in the programme to a well-known ball in the social calendar. And this week, teams, I'll be asking you to announce the late arrivals at the Confectioner's Ball. The Confectioner's Ball.
Oh, good.
That's sweets. Cake.
That's right, yes.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. Our next round is a musical one in which I'd like you teams to intone the lyrical refrain of one particular vocal composition while simultaneously pursuing the melodic line of a dissimilar piece. In other words, one song to the tune of another. You can use Colin Sell if you think it'll be of any help. You might even ask him to accompany you on the piano. Tim, you're going to sing Satisfaction to the tune of The Lonely Goat Herd.
I can't get no satisfaction can I get? 'Cause I try and I try and I try and I try. I can't get no. When I drive in my car, and that man comes on the radio, and he's telling me more and more about some useless information. It's going places sometimes too far, and that's why I can't hear the piano. Oh, that's what I say. Can't get no satisfaction. I can't no satisfaction. Satisfaction, fade out, I can't get no satisfaction, just switch the radio off.
Okay, Barry, here's one right up your street. You're going to sing How Much Is That Doggy in the Window to the tune of Land of Hope and Glory.
Tail, how much is that doggy in the window? Woof, woof, I do. That dog is for sale. I must take a trip to California and leave my poor sweetheart alone. If she has a dog, she won't be lonely. And the doggy will have a good home.
And this is Richard Baker from the Royal Albert Hall. Willie, you're going to sing Come Into the Garden Maud to the tune of The Night They Invented Champagne.
Come into the garden, Maud, for the black bat night has flown. Come into the garden, Maud, I am here at the gate alone. I am here at the gate alone, and the woodbine spices are wafted abroad, and the musk of the roses blow. For the breeze of the morning moves, and the planet of love is on high, to grieve the faint the light that she loves. On a bed of daffodil sky, to faint in the light of the sun. Come, 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 come.
That was the best so far. See what you can do, Graeme, now. You're going to sing Get Me to the Church on Time to the habanera from Bizet's Carmen.
Thanks.
I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are going to chime. Pull out the stopper. Let's have a whopper and get me to the church on time. I got to be there in the morning, spruced up and looking in me prime. Girls, come and kiss me, show how you'll miss me, but get me to the church on time.
OK, teams, now here's a cultural round. With its many strange historical customs and traditions, Britain must at times appear a puzzling place for first-time visitors to these shores. In this next round, teams, I'd like you please to act as tour guides around a particular item of British heritage to an assorted group of inexperienced foreign tourists. We're going to start with you, Willie and Tim. Will you please give a tour of the British Museum?
Museum. Yeah.
Museum.
The lips gone. When you enter the reading room, there will be a hushed sense of expectancy, so perhaps you'd like to sing your favourite national song, and when they want you to sing a little bit louder, they'll go, shh.
A useful phrase for those whose English is no use at all, when in the reading room, is ear cock, where's the filthy stuff? We also have one of the largest collections of Egyptian mummies in the world. Please take one.
I'm now going up to one of the attendants here. You can just ask him how to play Elgin marbles. He'll show you.
Here is the Rosetta Stone.
Oh, so it is.
You won't believe, when you try it out with 2 or 3 friends, just how high it bounces.
And now, if you'd like to show your backing for democracy, perhaps you'd like to add your signature to the Magna Carta.
They've all gone now.
Right, Barry and Graeme now. Will you please give us a tour of Madame Tussauds?
Well, could you ask your wife to move about a bit, sir? We're stock taking. Now...
Enjoy a hilarious blindfold game of pin the eyelashes on Barbara Cartland.
No, the Duchess of York isn't in here, madam. We've melted her down to make Shakespeare's sister.
Interested in DIY? Why not rearrange Michael Jackson?
I don't know, sir. It's either Ringo Starr or Yasser Arafat. I don't know.
Kindly refrain from hanging your hats on the Chippendales exhibit.
Is that it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
More than somewhat.
Because now we have an ancient game entitled Cheddar Gorge. In this game, team members will take it in turns to say one word at a time, gradually building up a sentence. However, teams should take care not to complete the sentence. Incidentally, for those uncertain as to why such a round should have a title so completely unrelated to the workings of the game, I have here a brief explanation. Peter prefers porridge yum yum, I'm a banana. Okay, good. Right, Tim, will you start, please?
I start?
You start, Tim.
Peter
prefers
plums
to any
other
form
of transport
available, comma,
the forces
of
evil,
which can
be
anywhere
at the
last moment.
Was that a full stop or a semicolon?
No, it's going on. The last moment
of...
That's it, you see?
Peter's...
progress. Oh.
Is the O in there
upward
as well?
inflection. Progress.
Comma.
Which, comma,
is
dash,
albeit only
the
one
which is
the
last
tango
in
as
open brackets
Close brackets.
Dash.
And
Then
we
Saw.
the
Peter.
Saw the Peter.
It's a safe cracker.
Ah, yeah.
that's a safe cracker. Who
Is
the
Known.
and
always.
the
Trusted.
Mornington.
Street.
That's the only way I know how to stop that game. It's quite useful, that. Now to a round which takes as its subject those delightful rhymes we were all taught in the nursery. Though many of these rhymes may appear to us today as little more than nonsense, they are in fact full of useful tips for the age in which they were written. One such rhyme, for example, is a stern warning against the consequences of placing sleeping babies in the upper branches of trees during windy weather. Another paints a disturbing picture of domestic life in a shoe for a single parent with too many children. Teams, I'd like you please to suggest some suitable amendments to well-known nursery rhymes to make them more relevant to life as we know it today. Who shall we start with? You, Willie.
All right. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. I'll tell her how to find them. Since the froggy farmers have done their worst, look for the smoke coming out behind them.
I'm the king of the castle, and you're a dirty rascal. I'm a big fat banker, and you're a little customer.
Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck and the mouse came out in sympathy.
Graeme, have you got anything to say?
Yes, I have, Humph.
Oh, good.
There was a crooked man, and he walked a crooked mile. He found a crooked sixpence against a crooked stile. He bought a crooked cat, which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together till he fell off his yacht.
Old John Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. I don't want to sit here and reward his hand when he worked for the BBC.
Wee Willie Winky runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nightgown, in and out of houses and along seaside piers, and when they finally catch him, he should get 10 years.
Half a pound of tuppenny rice, half a pound of treacle. Whoops, I've spilt them on your head. I'm Jeremy Beadle.
Oh, dear.
No more? Okay, well, let's go on now. Teams, we're going to play now our own version, teams, of the amusing television programme Call My Bluff, in which panellists provide definitions for obscure words. I shall give you a word to define, after which I shall attempt to guess which is the true definition. And your word, teams, is orangutan.
Oh, it was ping.
Orangutan, God. Well,
we'll start with you, Tim.
Orangutan, orange and tan. This is 1920s Northern Ireland, good tasteless subject. The black and tans, before that the tans were with the orange men. You see the way this is going. The orang-utans, and they used to march along with all their hairy hands scraping along the floor. The orange and tans. Or a fat frog. That's basically what it is.
Okay, how about you, Barry?
It's Scottish, not Irish at all. It's an Annie Laurie story.
He fell off the back of any lorry.
She was actually resident in Forfar, which is famous. It's mentioned in A Tale of Two Cities. It is a far better thing. And her sister, Amazing Grace, was ill, and she had to look after her and still try and ply her trade at the same time. So Grace suggested that she popped her head out of the window, twinkling at passers-by. She said, you can either put a postcard in the newsagent's window or hang out Anne. Or hang out Anne. It means tartan room. Scots folklore. Or hang out Anne.
Okay. Willie.
There are basically two ways of getting up the noses of the royal family. Well, three if you're an expert in ear, nose and throat. Either you upset the Duke of Edinburgh, or, and this is the alternative, you annoy the Princess Royal. So, people either say he's really got up the nose of Prince Philip, or angered Anne. So, as Philip has got more and more benign as the years have gone by, and his age has increased, and he doesn't shout at people, basically now you don't have to worry about the nose of Prince Philip, so people just say no, or angered Anne. It's annoying the Princess Royal. I may be doing that at this very moment if she's listening.
Graeme?
Yes, well, in fact, orangutan is an onomatopoeic word originating in Australasia. Imagine, if you will, a group of Aussies getting together for a corroboree in the shade of a coolibah tree by a sparkling billabong. And as they throw another jumbuck on the barbie, some old-timer puffing contentedly on his kookaburra will whip out his didgeridoo and give it a blow. And orangutan is the word given to the noise made by a didgeridoo, which we could demonstrate with your good selves and my fellow players. If we all chant along together, you'll find out how very onomatopoeic it is. If we all go, orangutan, 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 orangutan. A sunrise in the morning. It works. There we are.
Right,
there we are then, orangutan, a wobble board.
And I now have to guess, teams, which one is the true one. It's not too easy for me, because I didn't understand any of them. But I'll go for Graeme's, because I like the singing. So I'll go for Graeme's. So will the person who gave the true definition reveal himself, please?
Oh, good.
It wasn't, was it?
No.
Was it? Was it?
Who'd have thought it?
Well, I never guessed that.
I think it can be a thin frog as well, mind you.
Incredible. Now we go on to a musical round entitled Bad Tempered Clavier, in which I'd like each team to sing a well-known song while at the same time being forced to listen to some completely unhelpful piano accompaniment. Incidentally, you may be surprised to know that it takes great skill to play the piano horribly off-key and out of time. Colin Sell does it superbly. He should do, he's had enough practice. The aim of the game, teams, is for you at least to remain in tune. And we're going to start with you, Barry and Graeme. You're going to sing Night and Day.
Like the beat, beat, beat of the tom-tom when the jungle shadows fall. Like the tick, tick, tick of the stately click as it stands against the wall. Like the drip, drip, drip of the raindrops when the summer shower is through. So a voice within me keeps repeating, you, 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 night and day, you are the one. Only you beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are, I think of you. Night and day, night and and torment won't be through till you let me spend my life making love to you day and night and day.
Right, Tim and Willie, you're going to sing There's No Business Like Show Business.
The costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down. The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff who escorts you out of town. The opening when your heart beats like a drum. Boom, boom. The closing when the customers won't come. There's no business like show, business like no business I know. You get word before the show has started that your favorite uncle died at dawn. Top of that bar and bar parted, you're broken hearted, but you go on. There's no people like show, people they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. That night you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they hung a star. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the
Well, I can't judge that one. I'm going to put it to the audience. Which ones did you think sang most in tune? First of all, Barry and Graeme. Or Tim and Willie.
Why do I care? Sorry, that's Barry talking. No, I do.
Well, that was interesting. Now, before Time's winged chariot performs another elaborate handbrake turn, and we are... Who writes this crap? Before we go, I'll just ask the teams to announce the late arrivals at the Confectioner's Ball, starting with you, Graeme.
Mr. and Mrs. Seedballs and their daughter Annie Seedballs.
That's knocked me down to one now.
Flann O'Brien.
Go on, Tim.
Pray silence, please, will you, for our first mulatto nudist. Mulatto nudist, listener. Ginger nuts. Oh. It's a bit of a gobstopper. No.
Mr. and Mrs. Serry and their daughter Patty Serry.
A bag of bullseyes. Who is that woman Jim Bowen came in with?
Music by the Max Jaffa Cake. Who is that fat, creamy thing just oozing advice? It's A. Claire Rayner.
And there's Mr. and Mrs. Gums and their son Wayne Gums.
All the way from France, Flapjack, who juggles with 9 rolls. It's a sort of Poisson nerf act.
It's there if you look for it. I think.
You seem to have got out of the confectioner here. I thought move on to me. I was just about to introduce Al. Al because the lady loved milk tray. It's a long name, but
I think he's come in with Herbert Dabb.
Pa and Ma Ziffan.
Any more?
It's,
I've just spotted Dick. No, that doesn't come under that. Anyway, I've just spotted Dick. It's just a personal thing.
It's often difficult to know exactly when to step in and close the show.
And there's Mr. and Mrs. Nems and their daughter Emma Nems.
David Battenberg and a orangutan.
Well, that's all for this week. Join us again next week. Until then, from us all, goodbye.
Tim Brooke-Taylor, Barry Trier, Graeme Garden and Willie Rushton were being given silly things to do by Humphrey Lyttleton, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme was produced by John Naismith. We present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin and your chairman is Humphrey Lyttleton.
Hello again and welcome to another enjoyable edition of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. And I use the word enjoyable in the yes, jumping up and down on these drawing pins in my bare feet is most enjoyable, Mr. Valheim. Meaning of the word. I'm back here again in the Playhouse Theatre in Oxford. Would you welcome, please, on my right, Willie Rushton and Tim Brooke-Taylor. On my left, Barry Trier and Graeme Garden. And here she is, bursting with eagerness to score at every opportunity. Would you welcome once more the lovely Samantha? Do you mind? No. It was horrible. We'll start off with a round entitled... That's if Colin allows us. We'll start off with a round entitled... Well, I mean, barging in there. He's not even meant to play there. We'll start...
Just supporting Samantha, Humphrey.
Cross your heart, pianist.
We're going to...
You should see him lift and separate.
We're going to start off with a round entitled Celebrity Misquotes. In this round, teams, I'd like you please to come up with some remarks that famous people, alive or dead, would never have said. Barry, would you start, please?
Bernard Manning. Luxury item soon? The collected works of Ezra Pound. It'd be humorously incongruous if he did say that, wouldn't it? So people would
Live
smile.
from the Garden of Eden, Adam.
Hello, sweetie.
The Pope. You all right for the weekend, sir?
President George Bush.
Watch my lips.
Dracula. Open the box.
John Prescott, MP.
I'm saying nothing.
General Custer. 180.
Queen Victoria. Bernard Manning. Now he does amuse us. Or Edward Heath. That Margaret Roberts, she looks a bit useful.
Any more? OK, we'll go on to the next round. It's time for a round called Pick Up Song. In this round, Samantha and I will play in some popular discs on my gramophone to which you should sing along, teams. At a completely random point, the sound will disappear, and if on its return you're within a dotted crotchet of the original, I'll be awarding points. And points mean prizes. What do points mean? like to remind our listeners at home that this programme comes from one of the most celebrated seats of learning. This week's prize is a solid foam rubber doorstop. Now, Willie, you're going to start. Will you accompany Frankie Lane singing Rawhide?
Keep rolling, 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 though the streams are swollen. Keep them doggies rolling, oh, doggies, rawhide. Through rain and wind and weather, hell bent for leather, wishing my gal was by my side. All the things I'm missing, good victuals, loving, kissing, all waiting at the end of my ride. Move 'em on, head 'em up, move 'em on, head 'em up, rawhide. Oh,
well, you won't expect any points for that. Barry, your turn. Will you join Topol singing If I Were a Rich Man?
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty rich, idle-diddle man, I'd bid... What? Bill?
OK, Tim, will you join little Jimmy Osmond singing Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool?
Hello. I'll be a long-haired lover from Liverpool, and I'll do anything you say. I'll be your clown or your puppet or your April Fool, if you'll be my sunshine daisy from LA. I'll be your leprechaun and sit upon an old toadstool. I'll serenade you till I'm old and grey. Not before time, I'll be your long-haired lover from Liverpool. You'll be my sunshine daisy from LA.
Just a tiny bit ashamed I got that one right.
Oh, good. That was excellent. OK, Graeme, now, will you join the D'Oyly Cart Opera Company singing A Policeman's Lot Is Not a Happy One?
When a felon's not engaged in his employment, or maturing his felonious little plans, his capacity for innocent enjoyment is just as great as any honest man's. Our feelings we with difficulty smother, and constabulary duties to be done. I'll take one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not a happy one.
Well, Tim Brooke-Taylor won that round, I think, by the dot in the dotty crotchet. Now, our next game is called Close Quotes. Teams, I shall give you the first halves of some well-known proverbs, and I'd like you to complete them, please. Points will be deducted for correct answers. Tim, you're going to start this one, flushed with success. Pride comes before
Pride comes before of lions.
Didn't understand that. Barry, here's yours. Blood is thicker than...
Caliber.
Say Canada.
Caliber.
Oh, Caliber. Is it Canada? That's quite true.
OK. Graeme, now. Brevity is the soul of...
Canada.
Yeah, that's all, yeah. Brevity is the soul of. Shorter the better. That's my motto.
So I've heard.
Well, I'll keep plugging away. Willie.
Hello, I'm still with you.
If the mountain will not come to Muhammad...
They'll probably slap a fatwa on it.
I'd like to disassociate myself from that.
I wasn't even here.
Hey, Tim, here's another one for you. A swarm of bees in May is worth a load of hay, but a swarm in July...
Isn't.
Barry, will you complete Too Many Cooks?
On television.
Graeme, cleanliness is next to...
Impossible.
And finally, Willie, Rome was not built in...
Norway.
Anyway, I'll throw it open now. Anybody got any more?
One swallow does not make an orgy.
There's no smoke without flatulence.
Give a thief enough rope and he'll run off with it.
When the cat's away, the mice will use the flap.
If you can't beat 'em, what's the point of teaching?
Okay, any more? Right. Now we have a round...
Hell hath no fury like Mrs. Bradley of 43 the Glebe Orpington.
Well, whether you like it or not, we're going on to play a game which is based on the television programme Through the Keyhole. In this programme, as you know, Lloyd Grossman gets invited into the delightful homes of mystery celebrities. Precisely why is something of a mystery to me. In our version of this programme, I shall ask each team to enter one of two mystery cubicles, each specially furnished to resemble precisely the homes of famous persons. While the pair in the cubicle describe what they see, the other pair should ask questions in order to find out whose room it is.
Uncanny, that, wasn't it?
They have 1 minute to guess. Right now, Barry and Graeme, would you please venture into your cubicle, it says here. The answer's going up on the laser display board, while here for listeners at home is the mystery voice.
Jason Donovan's flat. Jason Donovan's flat.
Can you hear me, Barry and Graeme?
No.
Right, will you start describing, please?
Well, it's very, very masculine.
No, it's a real man's flat. It's a real man's bed, very butch and manly. So
what's this bottle here? Rambo lemon juice and a comb? What's that all about?
Lots of pin-up photographs of girls. Oh, there's a signed one here from Kylie.
Oh. These maps here. Oh, look, it's where he's been on holidays, all these cards and everything. Definitely prefers Adelaide to Sydney. You can see here. Better keep the noise down, the neighbours, just walk about quietly. There's the Schwarzenegger book of chat-up lines here.
Is this I never remember his name.
Is it, Jason, yes, I am Butch Donovan?
Yes.
Very good, but you were out of time, so we go on now to... Willie and Tim, will you please enter your mystery cubicle? While the answer goes up on the digital display, and here again is the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Number 11 Downing Street. the home of Norman Lamont. Number 11 Downing Street, the home of Norman Lamont.
Are you there, Willie and Tim?
We are here.
It's like being in a tank here.
Are you there?
Shall I be the first fish? Do you know how to drive this thing? We're here, Hump.
Okay, start describing, please.
Oh, God. There's a reflection in the mirror, but there's nobody there.
I'm in the bedroom. Well, let's look in the closet. Oh, this could be moss brass. There must be at least 100 sets of white tie and tails. And enormous toothbrushes.
I'm now in the kitchen. Whoever cooks in this kitchen is mad about tomato ketchup. At least I think it's tomato ketchup. Could be catsup.
The basement is full of boxes. And people lying in the boxes. Not in this red leather one.
Okay, Barry and Graeme, you've got a minute in which to guess.
I couldn't hear most of it because Colin Sell was playing the piano rather than loudly. Atmosphere, right. So it's somewhere pretty jolly and light-hearted.
Trying to wrong footers, are they, with this sinister air? With Colin, the vampire of song, at the piano. Are they trying to mislead us with this sinisterness? No reflection in the mirror was said early on, wasn't it?
That's right.
Could be John Major, I suppose.
Oh. Close.
Because Polaroids of him take 2 days to come out.
Sorry they did.
Oh, are we next door to John Major?
You are indeed.
You've
got it.
In the Badger's set.
Just for the benefit of the thick people listening at home, will you say actually where they were?
Norma Lamont's place.
Yes.
That's right, yes. I just wanted to... That applause was from one or two fairly thick people in this audience. Right, teams, it's now time for a round of limericks. As usual, I shall provide the first lines, and I'd like you to complete them, taking one line each. Graeme, we're going to start with you. A Welshman who ate some Caerphilly
said, "I love Wales because it's so hilly."
The girls in the valley
are ever so pally.
They shout, "Show us your don't be so silly."
Right, Tim, here's your line. A Frenchman who ate too much brie.
A Frenchman who ate too much brie shrugged his shoulders and said, "C'est la vie." In French.
That's enough of that stuff.
Because an earth is an earth.
I shall have one on toast for my tea.
Okay, Barry. An Italian who loved Parmesan.
An Italian who loved Parmesan broke wind in the back of his van.
With a ear-splitting roar.
It blew off the door.
And it's Arrivederci, Milan.
Right, Willie, finally, one for you. A Greek who could only eat feta.
A Greek who could only eat feta once crept up behind Henrietta.
He bowed very low
and shouted, "Hello."
And shoved his head right up her sweater.
Okay, now it's time... Excuse me. Now it's time to play the game called Mornington Crescent. And this time, teams, we'll be playing Mortimer's Conversion. Straddling is, of course, optional.
I say, of course.
What?
Of course. What do you mean?
Of course. Of course.
Of course. That's, well,
So the optional is completely...
listen, can we get on with the game? We always have these arguments. Colin Sell will be joining in any minute now. Lovely piano. OK, will you start, please, Tim?
Well, if it's optional...
Not necessarily. But it's always optional, isn't it?
No, of course it is.
With Mortimer.
It isn't. We've played many games when it hasn't been optional.
But it throws...
I don't remember one.
We've played one or two when it's been mandatory.
Queensway, then.
That was after Reykjavik.
Well, excuse me for asking, have you started, Tim?
Been finished for years, but I did say Queensway.
Right, we're off. Oh.
Gants Hill.
Frith Street. No messing.
Well, no.
No.
Challenge there. What's your challenge?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes, right, thanks. What's your challenge?
What did he say?
Frith Street. Frith Street.
You're
calm.
Frith Street.
Frith Street, sorry.
Of course you can say Frith Street.
Right.
You wouldn't say Frith Street because you're wimpish. But I am a bold fellow and I say Frith Street like that. Whack, bang, zot. I'm a powerhouse player, I warn you of this.
Plenty of zot.
Yeah. Go on, Graeme.
Wrong, but...
Leicester's... No. No.
Leicester Square, did you say?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. No. I said
didn't say
Leicester's...
Hump, for goodness sake.
Kingsway.
Better.
By the straddle.
I think he straddles sore, quite frankly.
I suppose that's all right, isn't it? Ladbroke Crescent.
Tooting Beck.
Soho Square. Another bold move. Whack, bang. Oh, I'm Ian Botham with Mornington Crescent.
Parade Street.
Oh, dear. Oh, Lord. King Street, S1.
Yep.
Oh.
To the south, and it's straddled.
It's the S1 one, isn't it?
No, but
There's no such thing as S1.
No,
oh, I'm on your side, aren't I?
Not King Street, Hammersmith.
South one.
Is that King Street, Hammersmith?
No, S1, if you're playing Mortimer.
You meant the southern one.
Oh, Mornington Crescent.
Yeah.
On Mortimer.
Yeah. You see, you should have watched out for that straddle.
I'm very disappointed.
That was a straddle.
It was optional.
Nephew.
OK, our next round is entitled Singing Relay, in which teams... I'd like you, please, to sing a well-known song, but taking alternate words between you. You'll be accompanied by Colin Sell on the piano. Incidentally, new listeners to the programme may be interested to know that Colin Sell was a member of several pop groups in the 60s and 70s, some of which became quite well known after he'd left them. There was Colin and Garfunkel, Dave, Dee, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, Titch and Colin, the Electric Light Piano, and perhaps most interestingly, the Jackson 6. Anyway, on with the round now. Tim and Willie. What round are we playing, by the way? Hang on a minute.
I don't think Mornington Crescent.
Your song is the Deadwood Stage.
What do they have to do, Hump? Pray tell.
What? Years ago, I said, a singing relay in which teams, I'd like you please to sing a well-known song, but taking alternate words between you. You'll be accompanied by Colin Sell on the piano, and I don't want to have to say that again.
A long time ago, I'd forgotten what it was you said.
All right, go on.
Oh, the Deadwood stage is rolling on over the place. With the curtains flapping and the driver slapping the reins. Beautiful sky, wonderful day. Whip, crack, away. Whip, away. Whip, crack, away. Oh, the Deadwood stages are heading over the hills, where the engine arrows are thicker than porcupine. Dangerous land, no time to delay. Whip, crack, away. Whip, crack, away. Whip, crack, away.
OK, Barry and Graeme, your song is If My Friends Could See Me Now.
What?
If they could see me now, my little dusty group, traipsing round this $1 million chicken coop, I'd hear those thrift shop cats say, brother, get her drape on a bedspread made from 3 kinds of fur. All I can say is wow, wait till the riff and raff see just exactly how he's signed this autograph. What a build up! Holy cow! They'd never believe it if my friends could see me now.
Masochist.
It's possible to be too slick. Anyway, that's nearly all for this week. There's just time, I think, for a swift round of Ornithologist Film Club. Teams, I'd like you, please, to suggest some films likely to be popular with an audience of birdwatchers. And Barry, we're going to start with you.
The Outlaw Josie Quails. 9.5 Beaks.
The Forbidden Gannet. All Quiet on the Crested Grebe.
Dan Quayle in Cuckoo's Talking.
Sean Canary in Licence to Trill.
Back to the Vulture.
There's a gull in my soup.
Turn of the Screw. Oh.
The Maltese Ptarmigan.
Duck Tracy.
Moby Tit. Waders of the Lost Ark.
The Sound of E-Music.
Musical vein, Cole Porter's Anything Goose.
Another musical, The Merry Wigeon.
Pied Wagtails of the Unexpected.
Steve McQueen in Pull It.
Hudson Hawk. That was a real turkey.
Oh, What a Lovely Warbler. The Last of the Red Hot Plovers.
Nightjar on Elm Street. My Left Coot. And anything starring Joan Collins. Apparently she's seen a cockatoo.
Rook Back in Anger, that's the Japanese version.
The Threatening Osprey.
Well, teams, that's it, I'm afraid. Oh, wait a minute, hang on. Samantha's come up with a score. This is the exciting part. Tim Brooke-Taylor and Willie Rushton, 23. Barry Cryer and Paul Merton, 31. That's it, I'm afraid, for this programme, and indeed the current series. So until next time, from all of us, goodbye.
Tim Brooke-Taylor, Barry Cryer, Graeme Garden and Willie Rushton have been given Silly Things to Do by Humphrey Lyttleton, with Colin setting some of them to music. The programme was produced by John Naismith.